This woman killed 600 men with makeup. Giulia Tofana lived during the 17th century in Italy when women didn't have a lot of power. But she was an entrepreneur who developed her own poison called acqua tofana. It was colorless, tasteless, odorless, could kill a man in 4 drops, and was undetectable after death. She sold it to women disguised as cosmetics so that they could kill their abusive husbands and live out their lives freely as widows without any suspicion. This went on for decades before officials realized she was one of the most successful poisoners in history, and she was executed.
This girl literally lived a nightmare. A 17-year-old girl was watching TV late at night when her motion detector lights in her driveway suddenly went on. She assumed it was just an animal, so she got up, drew the blinds, and went back to watching TV. Then a little bit later, it happened again. Before she could even react, she looks over and clearly makes out a silhouette of a person right behind the blinds who starts banging aggressively on the window. The girl stands up and goes, "I'm gonna call the cops!" And the figure stops for just a second, sprints to the side door and starts pounding even louder on that, screaming incoherently. The girl runs to the bathroom, barricades herself inside while she waits for the police, and then her worst nightmares come true. She hears glass shatter in the other room. After a few minutes of silence, she opens her door just a crack to get a peek outside, and standing in her living room next to a broken window is some crazy old woman who looks over at her and starts sprinting toward her. The lady comes smashing into the door and starts wailing on it until the police arrive and take her away. She was a lunatic who had escaped her facility. This is why you never go to the well on your own. In 1983, a young boy was camping with his family on Roan Mountain in North Carolina when his mom asked him to head on down the path and get some water from the well. When the boy didn't return, his mom went to check on him and he was gone. A massive search party was launched to find him, but with temperatures rapidly dropping and finding no trace of him, the family braced for the worst. Then, miraculously, on the 7th day of the search, the boy shows up on the mountaintop in an area they had already searched, healthy and clean. When they asked the boy, "Where have you been?" he said he had been at the well when a tall, faceless man showed up behind him, scooped him up, and brought him to the top of the mountain where he kept him in his cabin all week. After the boy gave a very detailed description of exactly where this cabin was on the mountain, the police were eager to go find it and confront this guy. But the park superintendent just raised his hand and said, "Guys, it's pointless. I've worked here 40 years. There are no cabins on Roan Mountain." This is why you should always be scared of clowns. In 2004, a babysitter had just sat down to watch TV before the parents got back when she noticed something. In the corner of the room was a large clown statue that, no matter how she positioned herself, seemed like it was staring right at her. As she's looking at it, the father calls to check in on the kids. She tells him everything is fine, and right before they're about to hang up, she says, "Why do you have a huge clown statue in your TV room?" There was silence on the phone, and then the father just says, "We don't own a clown statue." She immediately drops the phone, runs upstairs, gets the kids, runs outside, calls the cops. Cops go in and come out with this guy. As the police are taking the clown away, one of the officers comes over to the girl and with a very grim look on his face just says, "We found him underneath one of the kids' beds. He was holding a sharpened screwdriver."
This is why you should always pay attention to details. Once there was a boy named Jonah who was walking through a park to go home after school, but he never expected what he'd see there. He saw a girl sitting alone by a swing in the park, and this made him curious. So he decided to approach her, and from that time on, they talked every night before Jonah went home. Later, he told his friends about this girl, only for his friends to say never go to that park again. They told him years ago at that park, a teacher's daughter passed away in a horrible car accident. When she was found, she was missing a finger. Jonah didn't believe them, so the next time he saw the girl, he asked to see her hands. When she finally showed him, he saw her missing finger. Jonah ran as fast as he could. Even after he went back to the park, he never saw the girl again.
Time is slowly tracing his face, but strangely he feels at home in this place.